It's around 2 a.m. on November 11th at World's Toughest Mudder. I've already completed the course several times at this point. I've just decided to take the penalty lap at the Stacks. The Stacks is a new obstacle this year that basically consists of climbing up a cargo net that's draped over the top of 4 shipping containers that are stacked one on top of the other, 40 feet high. You climb up the top of the cargo net, walk across the top of the shipping containers, take a 40-foot jump into some deep water. Most people are going to take the same path that I did and bypass the obstacle and go straight to the penalty loop. Partly because when you first walk up to this thing and you gaze up the top, your first response is, screw that. But also partly because of strategy. It takes a lot of energy to climb up that 40-foot cargo net, and the penalty loop is just a short little jog. So the other part of the strategy comes with the cold. It's below freezing outside. It's been below freezing for a couple hours, so it's really cold. So taking a jump into some cold water that you don't have to take doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm going through the penalty lap, and something starts to happen to me that's never happened to me before in one of these races. I'm going, and I'm starting to feel like I'm falling asleep. And it doesn't make any sense. I'm not sleepy. I just ran up a ramp in the last obstacle, but I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open. So I'm trying to keep my eyes open, trying to jump around, wake myself up. And I'm like 3 miles away from Tent City. And I look around and I realize I'm also all by myself, which is strange to me because just yesterday morning, I was surrounded by 1,500 other people at the start line, but now the course is like a ghost town. So I'm freezing, my fingers, my toes are going numb. I can only see the light of my own headlamp and see the breath of my fog. I'm just left alone with my own thoughts, which normally would be a really good thing. I'm a pretty positive, upbeat guy. But right now, the only thoughts in my head I can hear are, what the hell am I doing here? Why in the world did I think this was going to be fun? How much more of this can I take? Do I want to take any more of this? So I keep going, one foot in front of the other, all the way around. I make it back to Jess, who's waiting for me at Tent City. And I'm sure she can tell in my body language, I'm defeated right now. I'm just really down. And I get up to her and she has some warm chicken broth for me and she's asking me, how are you feeling? And I told her I was starting to fall asleep out there. And right away she looks at me and she realizes, no, you're not falling asleep. You're hypothermic. You're starting to pass out. So we go back to the tent and she's doing her best she can to warm me up. She's pouring hot water on my hands and on my feet. She's putting a blanket over my shoulders and drinking some hot coffee. Jess did awesome as my pit crew. I prepared her going into it and told her everything she needed to do. She needed to help me kind of organize my gear, help me figure out when I need to change into my wetsuit, when I need to change my gear, help keep me fuel, help make sure I drink water so I stay hydrated, keep me from cramping up, all the things like that. And I also told her there may be a time, maybe around 2 a.m., where my spirits will just really be down and I may want to quit and you're going to have to bring me out of it. I told her all this. I didn't think it was true. I've done this twice now. I'm a 2-time World's Toughest Mudder. I know what this takes. This is 12 hours physical, 12 hours mental. This is all about how much can you take and keep going. There's nothing that this course is going to throw at me that I can't take. And so I believe that with all my heart. So I knew that, knowing that made this moment so much harder. The cold that Mother Nature threw at us was a game changer. There was over 10 hours of below freezing temperatures. There's frost on the ground, there's frost on the tents, there's frost on everything inside. There's hardly any headlamps out on the course anymore because so many people had dropped out. They closed down 5 obstacles because they were covered in sheets of ice. At this point, I was past the point of wanting to quit, and I just felt broken. I felt like there was just nothing left for me. I felt like a failure. I felt defeated. I was in a dark place. And I know Jess has never seen me in that place before. It's probably a safe bet to say no one's ever seen me in that place before. It was pretty bad. But even though she's never seen me in that point before, she came ready. She had enlisted an army of my clients, my friends, my family for this moment right here. And she had them write letters to me just in case this moment came around so I could open them. And so there were notes about how inspiring I am to them and what I'm made of and what I'm capable of and that you got this, you can keep going. She had a book of how awesome I am, full of all these reasons why awesome I am. There was even a note from our dog, Walter. Was sad he couldn't be there, but was rooting for me at home and knew I got this, I can keep going. She had updated posts on Facebook. And so every time someone made a comment, she relayed those inspiring words. And those words at the time were like spinach to me. And they gave me energy. And I was still really struggling, but that gave me enough energy that she was able to help push me through that and get me back on the course. And not only was I able to get back on the course, I actually did 2 more laps after that point. So I was able to make it to 40 miles, and that was my goal, 40 miles at 40 years old. And I know I would not have made it if she didn't help me through that tough time and during the race. And so that taught me a valuable lesson. And I learned, you guys have heard me give speeches about this before, I do these obstacle races because I feel like it makes me stronger as a person. When I go through these obstacles and take on these challenges, whenever I face challenges and obstacles in life, I feel like I'm able to handle it better. Like, we all face obstacles all the time. And when we come up against an obstacle, we have 2 choices. Either we can overcome the obstacle or the obstacle can overcome us. But the lesson I learned, the takeaway I had from this race, was that sometimes the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the adversity we face, the more important it is that we have a strong pit crew. Jess can't take the pain away for me. She can't go through the course for me. But she can be there with me and ease my suffering, and then she can push me through that struggle to get to my best, and so I can reach my goals. Ask yourself who your pit crew is. How strong is your pit crew? When you face obstacles, when you face challenges, are they enabling you to take the easy way out and quit? Or are they pushing you through your struggle so you can reach your goals and be your best? Thank you.